So in this case, if I said that sine angle A was equal to 0.3584, then A is going to equal sine to the negative 1 of 0.3584. In this case, to the nearest whole degree, that's going to be 21 degrees. Same thing for example B. If I said cos B was equal to 0.5389, then what I'd actually be doing is B was equal to cos to the negative 1 of 0.5389. I can state that from this, angle B is going to be 57 degrees. If tan P is equal to 3.2106, then tan to the negative 1 of that is going to give me an angle of 73 degrees. And if sine of C is equal to 1 over 2, what I'm actually putting into my calculator to solve this is going to be angle C is equal to sine to the negative 1 of bracket 1 divided by 2, and close that bracket, and I get 30 degrees. If I'm looking at the trig ratios from 0 to 90, then although it is not possible to form a triangle when it's at 0 degrees or when it's at 90 degrees, because that's just going to be a perfectly vertical line or a perfectly horizontal line, a rotation angle of 8 degrees is formed when a line of length r is rotated counterclockwise about the origin, as we show in diagram 1. If I take a line of the length r, then I could draw a line straight down to get my y value and straight across to get my x value, as we can see here, to get the rotation angle. So sine of angle A is going to be y over r, which means that cos of angle A is going to be the length of x divided by r. And tan of angle A is going to be my y divided by x. Now if my length of y divided by my length of x is equal to tan, that also happens to be my change in height versus change in horizontal, or rise over run, which is why tan is also my slope. If the rotation angle 8 degrees is made smaller and smaller, then the opposite side of the triangle y decreases in value and the adjacent is going to increase in value. So if a is equal to 0, then the opposite side would be 0 and the adjacent side would equal r. So if I put that into practice, well, if y is equal to 0 divided by r, then sine is just going to be 0. If tan is going to equal r, or sorry, cos is going to equal x is equal to r divided by r divided by r is just going to be 1. So I'm going to have a sine of 0, I'm going to have a cos of 1, and I'm going to have a tan of 0 divided by x would also be 0. So if I had a 0 degree angle or just a perfectly horizontal line, then I'm going to have a sine of 0, a cos of 1, and a tan of 0. If it was 90 degrees, then side x would be 0 and side y would be equal to r. So in this case, that would be the same as r over r, or sine of 90 is going to be 1. For cos, it's going to be x is 0 divided by r. That's going to be an r of 0. And lastly, if I have y is equal to r and x is equal to 0, anything divided by 0 is going to be undefined. You should already know this from our slope of a vertical line is always going to be undefined. If tan is the same as a slope, then it works the same way. So if we are completing the following table round to 2 decimal places if necessary, I'm just going to put into my calculator sine of 0, sine of 10, sine of 20, 30, 40, yada, yada, yada. So in this case, sine of 0 is going to be 0. Of 10 is 0.17. 20 is 0.34. 30 is 0.5. 40 is 0.64. At 50, it's going to be 0.77. 60 is 0.87. 70 is going to be 0.94. 80 is going to be 0.98. And 90 is going to be 1. As the angle of x increases from 0 to 90, sine of x increases from 0 to 1. So, if it wants us to draw a right angle LMN in which L is going to be my 90-degree angle and N is going to be angle X. I'm going to state that here's L, here's N, here's M, and this is going to be X degrees, and L is obviously my 90 degrees. Write an expression for the measure of angle M in terms of X. Well, if all the angles in a triangle add up to 180, and one of them in this right triangle is 90, then the other two have to add up to the other 90 degrees. So how could I state this? I can say that angle M would have to equal the other two add up to 90, and then I have to take away whatever the value of X is and be left in that in degrees. If I'm using ratios, why is it that sine X is equal to cos of 90 minus X? Well, if sine X is equal to sine of the angle N, or the length of LM over MN. Cos of 90 minus X is the same as cos of angle M, which is going to be LM over MN. Since both ratios equal LM over MN, sine of X is equal to cos of 90 minus X. Which means that if sine of 20 is equal to cos of 90 minus 20, it's equal to cos of 70. If sine of 8 is equal to cos of 90 minus 8, that's going to be the same as cos of 82. All right, that is it for this.